Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the CRL September 30th webinar on CRL Collections and Services. My name is James Simon. I'm very pleased to welcome you here today. And we have a lot of new faces in the audience, a lot of new members who are joining us, and I'm very pleased that you were able to join us today. We are going to be conducting about an hour-long session with a number of participants, and let me just pull up the presenters. Again, my name is James. I'm the Vice President for Collections and Services, and joining me today is Kevin Wilkes, the Head of Access Services, Mary Wilkie, our Member Liaison and Outreach Services Director, and Virginia Kerr, our Head of Communications and Development. Together we'll be presenting a lengthy and ambitious agenda that hopefully will give you a good overview of CRL's collections, its services, and the opportunities that you have as participants in CRL of maximizing your membership. Just a few quick housekeeping announcements. This is being made available both through voice over IP through your computer or by calling in. We've given you instructions on to make sure that you're hearing the audio through your computer. If you have trouble with that for any reason at any course, feel free to dial in with the phone number and the access codes that we provided you. That's always a good backup if you can't seem to work the audio on your computer. Also, the mics and the telephones have been muted on entry. That's to cut down on the chatter. We have a lot of participants who have signed up to participate. We have, looks like about 33 people already joining us so far. And so to keep the background chatter to a minimum, we do mute your phones. But we ask and encourage you to submit questions and comments via the chat function in the WebEx display that you can see, hopefully off to the right. We will take questions and answers. We encourage you to submit them as you think of them. We'll try to clarify as we go along or address them towards the end of our presentation. So by all means, do feel free to do that. We like having your questions. Let me just give you, for those of you who are new, and we have a few potential members who have joined us as well, just the briefest of overviews so you know who we are. The Center for Research Libraries is a consortium of university, college, and academic research and independent research libraries of all sizes. The CRL community of more than 200 libraries includes large academic libraries with major research size collections like Harvard and Yale, of course, as well as undergraduate and liberal arts colleges such as Oberlin, Amherst, and Macalester, one of our newest members. Welcome, by the way. We also include independent and non-academic institutions like the New York Public Library and the Newberry Library here in Chicago. We continually bring in new members of all sizes, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to Columbia College, Hamilton College, North Dakota State, Macalester, and West Point, who are our newest members who have joined the CRL community. We are located in the United States, but we have membership throughout virtually all of the states here in the U.S., as well as Canadian libraries, and a number of global members, including the University of Hong Kong and institutions in Germany and India. Together with our community of libraries, CRL's mission is to support advanced research and teaching in all disciplines. Although the strongest fields in our collections relate to the humanities and social sciences, we also have quite a significant science collection as well. We accomplish this mission by acquiring and preserving critical historical and cultural evidence that neither individual libraries nor commercial publishers alone can preserve, and make those materials available to researchers in all formats. Our efforts over the past 6+ decades has generated a collection of primary source materials the size of a major university library. We have over 5 million volume or volume equivalents in our shared collection based here in Chicago, which we do send out in physical and electronic form across the world. CRL is the world's largest and most enduring collection development community. Member libraries pool their resources and their expertise to identify, acquire, preserve, and share critical evidence and documentation for original research and evidence-based teaching. What we do is decided by the communities of interest within CRL, including the broad membership, as well as specialized interests like our cooperative Africana Materials Project and other world regions that help identify important materials for CRL to acquire. with that, here's the agenda for this afternoon's session. I will be giving you a brief overview of CRL's collections and collection partnerships. We'll talk about how to discover our materials, as well as how to get access to those materials through our borrowing services. We'll also talk a little bit about our special programs that members participate in, such as electronic licensing and our purchase programs. We'll also be giving you some tips on ways that you can maximize your use of the CRL collections and services by making the most of your membership. And we'll take your questions and answers as we go along. So with that, I'd like to get started by talking about the collections and partnerships. We have a tremendous variety of materials, and I can only cover them in the briefest of forms here, but let me give you a couple slides. If you haven't visited us in Chicago, we do encourage you to come down and see us. We are down on the south side of the city. We have a physical library here of 4 stories and 5 million volumes. Some of the pictures that we've included here just give you a taste of the kinds of closed climate-controlled facilities that we maintain here for our collections. This includes our open stacks, as well as our compact shelving, to get all of which combine our collections centrally here in Chicago that are dispersed on request to the member libraries. Of course, the best way to learn about us is through our website, and let me just take you to that very briefly so that you can get a brief orientation to the kinds of things that you can discover on our site. So here's our fairly new design for our website, where you can see a variety of tabs along the top, and I will be covering we'll be covering a number of the topics along the way, but I just wanted to highlight those for you to discover more information on your own, including the tab for collections, which if you hover over it, you can see a drop down for some of the collection programs, our collecting areas, and our topic guides. Information about our electronic resources, which will provide you links to our digital collections, and you can discover those. Some of our services and policies, such as how to borrow materials and our demand purchase programs. And also our catalog, which is available here on our site. And let's take you into the catalog interface so that you can kind of get a taste of that if you haven't explored that already. Here again, we provide access to our full collection, which is also cataloged in WorldCat. But we've provided on our own site a variety of specialized searches for you or your patrons to make better use of our collections. So you can see along the top the tabs for serials and for newspapers. Let's just go to the newspaper tab so you can kind of get a feel for how these can be used. Within this specialized scope, you can search for newspapers by title or keywords. We also provide a drop-down list so that you could browse our newspapers by a particular state, U.S. state, or by country. And here you can see just an example of this. And if we go down and pull just one down, say, Missouri, when you click on the tab, you'll get a browsable list of all of the content that's available. Titles by county and city. So we're just going to select St. Louis here as an example of what you can see. And you'll get an entry for all of the catalog titles that we have, and all of our newspapers are cataloged. And you can also get access to the digital versions of these materials. We'll be talking about our digitization program, but here you can see access through our catalog to the digital resources. To the right of the title, you can see the link to what's available online through CRL. And when you click on that, you get access to, in most cases, a calendar browse. So you can go in by date, and from that date, you can pull up the digitized resources. If we just pick May 6th, say, you'll get access to the full-page images of our scanned titles. And here's the St. Louis Post-Dispatch with a interesting picture, I would say, on there. So by all means, make sure to point your researchers to our specialized search scopes. Let me talk about our subject collections a bit, and we will start with the newspapers as I go back to our slides here. CRL's collections for many decades have been described principally through the formats of the material. This was done as part of our original depositing and collecting programs, and so I'll touch on several areas here. Newspapers being one of the largest and most well-known collections at CRL. We have more than 14,000 titles currently cataloged in CRL's online catalog. That includes newspapers that we've collected in print, in microform, as well as in digital formats. The newspaper collection spans all countries and most time periods from when newspapers were published. About 25% of our collection comes from the U.S. general circulation newspaper collections that we have, which covers all states and territories from colonial times to the present. There are also about 1,000 plus ethnic titles from the mid-1800s to the present. Those are the immigrant community newspapers, specialized labor, Catholic, other types of newspapers that we hold within our collection as well. Our international collection, making up the other 75%, is quite broad, it's quite varied, it's quite extensive and deep. We have deep and unique collections of materials that include over 150 countries and covers from about 1700 to the present, although the bulk of our collection does cover the 20th century. In addition to the historic newspapers, we continue to acquire those, and we also maintain current subscriptions to U.S. and foreign titles on microfilm, and we also engage in original filming of a number of titles as well. The digital collections, which you saw earlier, are made available through our catalog, and we make those available digitally, of course, through our own digitization programs, as well as through our licensing activities. Increasingly, we are making the licensing offers to the major collections such as Redex, Gale, ProQuest, Eastview, and others available through our electronic resource offers. The next collection that I'd like to highlight are our serials, our journals collections. We have more than 62,000 catalog titles, which includes approximately around 6,000 current serial subscriptions. We collect materials primarily to complement our members' own collecting activities. This was part of the design of our journals collecting program. The members, as I said, help govern the types of materials that we acquire, and they put certain guidelines around our collecting that we should be collecting materials that are not commonly collected or commonly subscribed to through packages that serve the most immediate teaching needs. So we collect specialized materials that are not widely held. That includes science subscriptions from East Asia and Eastern Europe, as well as foreign periodicals through the Library of Congress cooperative acquisition programs, and within those, the ones that are generally not widely subscribed to the subset of libraries that participate in those. The bulk of our journals collections are in hard copy. We will send out long runs of our journals if you request them, although we also provide a robust article delivery service. If you have citations and you want to have just the articles delivered, we have programs that will do that. Supplemented, of course, by some of our partnerships, and I'll describe those in a few minutes. The digital access to these materials, like the newspapers, is increasing on CRL's side. We will digitize on demand from our journal collection, and through specialized partnerships like the American Periodicals series with ProQuest, scanned over 3 million pages from our collection, which you can acquire through licensing, and content partnerships like that with the Linda Hall Library to engage in article delivery. Another aspect of our collection which is widely used and highly valued is our foreign doctoral dissertation collection. CRL has over 800,000 foreign doctoral dissertations. That's dissertations that were produced outside of the United States and Canada. This was part of our original deposited collections from the founding member libraries of CRL, and has continued to grow over the decades through exchange, purchase, acquisition, and special demand purchase programs. The dissertation collection covers all dates, usually from the dates of the founding of the institutions, covers all subjects and all languages which are represented in the collection. The strongest bulk of the collection is the 20th century, although the dissertations are widely spread across the 1800s to the present. The areas of strength, geographic areas of strength, primarily are from European institutions, particularly from Germany, France, Switzerland, the UK, and Scandinavian countries, although we have representative collections from institutions in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and the like. As I said, this collection does see a lot of circulation. Some of it is we are able to digitize, others we are able to provide access through digitization services like the British Library's Ethos program. Another category of our collections which provides deep and unique resources for scholarship are the government documents and archives programs. CRL has, from its founding, taken in government publications as well as government archival sets from the major national archives, like the National Archives, the US NARA, as well as the UK National Archives, and others in Europe and elsewhere. We have an extensive collection of US state agency documents, which is part of our deposit, and we have built that up to be a robust and widespread collection. We also maintain large foreign government document collections as well, which do see a lot of use. We have a very specialized collection of foreign official gazettes. That's the official publications of the governments that publish laws, decrees, proclamations, official announcements, which we are currently working to digitize from that collection and hope to expand that collection as well. Government documents and archives has been a recent focus of CRL's collection building and collection forums among our members. In 2014, we held a major forum called Leviathan that focused on the changing paradigms of collecting government documents and information in the digital era, which has continued to inform our own collecting priorities, as well as that which we are working among our member institutions as well. CRL maintains extensive sets of microform collections, those that are commercially produced and acquired, as well as things that we have assembled through our own area materials projects, or received on exchange or deposit from our member institutions. That's a very broad overview of some of the major collections that we have. What I want to point to now for you to find more information at your leisure is to go back to our website and to click on the Collections tab. As we share our screen there, as I pointed out before, the Collections tab provides more information about our collections, and I want to take you to the topic guides, which is under the Tools and Resources section. Here you can find more information on collection strengths within particular areas of focus. So if you have an interest in African studies or medieval studies or religion, for instance, or agriculture, we have information in our topic guides that highlight particular strengths within our collection. A number of these, those with the stars that you see, have been augmented recently to include additional information, including the current challenges of the collecting landscape and the types of materials that libraries are looking to collect. Let's just take you into one here, and we'll go to the government publications, since I was just talking about that, where you can see an example of that. Here you can see information on the landscape tab that talks about the types of information that are being produced, how they're being produced, and who's collecting them. And in the middle tab, you can gain access to the various types of materials that CRL holds in its collection. This is a great way for you to get an overview of the types of materials we have, although access to our collections is best done through the CRL catalog itself. But here you can see entries for things like the U.S. congressional bills and resolutions, links to other things like our census reports, and foreign government information as well. The third tab provides you a bit more information about related resources, which might include digitized collections, special reports and forums, as well as links to our Focus on Global Resources newsletter. This is a periodic deep article report on aspects of CRL's collections and faculty use of that kind of material. And we do issue that usually based on subjects or a particular focus, so that we can concentrate attention to particular aspects of the CRL collection, like agriculture or government information. Before I hand this off to Kevin to talk about how you can gain access to all of these rich resources, I wanted just to highlight 2 or 3 of our collection partnerships, which substantially augment your access to research collections. If we go back to the slides. The first one, which I mentioned earlier, which is the Collection Partnership for Science, Technology, and Engineering. The Global Resources Partnership with the Linda Hall Library, which is an independent science library, we embarked on this a few years ago to provide access to the joint collections from CRL and the Linda Hall Library. We share a common mission to preserve and develop research collections. Their particular strengths for science, technology, and engineering spans over 40,000 historical and current serials with subject emphases and strengths in physics, chemistry, and other science topics. We provide article access, that is document delivery, through a specialized partnership with Rapid ILL. When you request an article, you can receive articles through the Linda Hall Library collection in less than 24 hours turnaround time. There's also a strong print preservation aspect to our partnership, where the Linda Hall Library has committed to retain all of the designated collection as a specialized print archive, which gives our members some security in knowing that if you need to move your own particular collections off-site, that there are libraries like the Linda Hall Library that have committed to retaining the print for these kinds of materials. The second collection partnership, and I didn't talk much about our legal resources, but this is a great partnership with access to historical legal resources, is with the Law Library Microform Consortium, or LLMC. Again, they share a similar mission and practice as CRL, concentrated in legal and government resources. CRL's partnership with LLMC provides all CRL members free access to the LLMC digital platform, which contains presently over 55 million pages of digitized legal and government texts. LLMC concentrates primarily on U.S. legislative, executive, and judicial materials. Through their partnership with CRL, we continue to target digitization of foreign, particularly in foreign government and legal information, collections such as African common law, Mexican legislative reports, foreign official gazettes, as well as our full collection of U.S. and Canadian state or provincial legislative serials. All of that material is accessible through the LLMC digital catalog, which is free to all CRL members through this partnership. Finally, just getting back to where I started with news, CRL continues to work with its members as well as with outside parties to make accessible collections related to news resources. The World Newspaper Archive is our partnership between CRL and its member libraries, and Redex, which is a division of Newsbank that provides access to deep historical newspaper and news resources. With the World Newspaper Archive, we've digitized more than 3 million pages of historical news content from Africa, Latin America, and South Asia. These materials are sourced from not just CRL's own collections, but also from our partner libraries. And CRL provides access to CRL institutions for an added fee, a modest added fee, I should mention, to these historical research modules. And we continue to grow and build those collections. At the same time, we're continuing to augment these collections through our own digitization in-house of news resources, which again, you can find through the CRL online catalog. With that, I would like to move on to discovery and access to the materials. Since I've been talking about the catalog, I should mention that our records are available not just there, but in WorldCat, as well as in all of the major web-scale discovery services, such as Summon and EBSCO and Primo. So if you implement one of those discovery services, chances are you're finding CRL resources within those. And we'll be talking a little bit later this year about optimizing the discovery of those resources in a subsequent discussion with our members. All of our catalog records are available to you for local loading into your own catalog. So if you'd like to have CRL resources, or even just a subset of those resources available in your catalog, which we find is a great way to better expose the materials to the researchers on your campus, we can provide those records to you for local loading. If you're interested in those details, contact us and we'd be happy to provide you more information. I'm going to turn this over to Kevin Wilkes to talk a little bit more about how members gain access to these collections. Kevin?
Hi, I am Kevin Wilkes of the Access Services Department, and I'm going to talk with you about how to borrow, how to deliver, and one of our many great programs, our demand purchase program, how to access our digital collection, and how you can load our records into your catalog. Now, borrowing from CRL is easy. You may send us requests through OCLC. Our symbol is CRL, and we use Iliad. We ask you to enter us in the lender stream first because we want to make sure that you get the maximum out of your membership. You can send us requests through fax, also through hard copy forms sent through mail, such as the ALA-ILL form, or through our general email account at asd@crl.edu. In October, we will be launching a new CRL requesting webpage. We've been working with Atlas on this for about a month now, and we're really excited because it'll be great for our members who request using fax or email to be able to use this page, and that way it would make requesting more efficient and just a little bit quicker for you. Many of our members are involved with consortiums that facilitate resource sharing. We have joined many of these consortiums, such as Linda Hall Library, Rapid, Prospector for our Colorado members, Connect New York, UBorrow, and Borrow Direct. We're always willing to explore the possibility of joining other consortiums which will benefit our members' use of the center and its material. We have a very generous loan period for our members of 6 months with unlimited renewals. The only time you probably hear from me is when we are recalling the material for another member institution. All of our loans are shipped at UPS second-day delivery. For our members in Ohio, we use the Ohio Link Courier System, and for those in Illinois, we use ILDS. It's our desire to assist our members in any way we possibly can. Now, for copies, we use Odyssey, email PDF attachment, fax, U.S. mail, and for those who are still using Arial, we'll use Arial as well. We're able to turn around and respond to most requests within 24 hours, and possible delays could be anything like a citation problem or just that the material is not on the shelf. But even with that, 90% of our field loans and articles have a 1 business day turnaround time. Now, with our demand purchase program, this is a program which not only saves you time but money as well by letting us purchase requested material for your patrons' use. It covers 3 areas: archival material, newspapers, foreign and domestic, and foreign doctoral dissertations. The demand purchase program process is initiated by an ILL request, and to help expedite the purchasing process, we ask you to put in the borrowing notes, "Please purchase." There is a $2,000 limit per patron each fiscal year. Now, that doesn't mean that just your institution, but actually every patron within your institution has a $2,000 limit per each fiscal year. Now, for more costly material or material that does not fit into any of these 3 categories, you may want to utilize one of our other purchase programs, like the Purchase Proposal or Share Purchase Program, which Mary Wilkie will be speaking more about later on. For archival material, this is material like the U.S. National Archives or the Great Britain National Archives, but it no longer is limited to just archives of the national government. We have also expanded this program to include the archives of semi-government organizations, NGOs, and institutions. For newspapers, it's foreign and domestic, of which we already own 1 date. So what does that mean? So, for instance, for the Daily Graphic out of Ghana, if your patron is looking for 1962, but all we have is April 1965, we will try to purchase 1962 for your patron. For foreign doctoral dissertations, these are, again, dissertations that are outside of U.S. and Canada. And again, to expedite the process, if you just put on the request, if not owned, please purchase. Now, we do know that a lot of institutions are requesting a signed copyright declaration form, such as Cambridge, Hong Kong, Manchester, and Oxford. They are requesting their own specific form to be signed. If you do not have a copy of a certain copyright declaration form, please contact us. We'll make sure that you have it. Now, many of the British Library dissertations are now accessible through their Ethos program. If there is a cost for the initial scanning, we ask you to send us the request. We will pay for the initial scanning, and then we will inform you when the scans are available. Once it's been scanned, the access is always free. CRL has even contributed to the scanning of dissertations provided by Ethos. Even if you are not certain if we hold or collect an item, it is still possible that we could purchase it. Please send us a request and just state in the borrowing notes, please purchase if not owned. I strongly suggest that you take full advantage of the demand purchase program. Now, our digital services program, we're filling more and more of our requests digitally. Our goal is to provide research and teaching material in a digital format, making the access of the material more efficient and expedient. Each year, we've digitized nearly 4 million pages. Over 800,000 of those pages come from digital delivery. Strategic plan digitalization is done through partnerships to build collections such as with WNA and ProQuest, as James mentioned earlier. Our e-resource collection includes everything from dissertations such as the Viking Way by Neil Price to colonial government reports like the report by His Majesty's government in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Our current turnaround time for digital delivery is 5 business days. We're willing to work with faculty members who desire to have their material digitized for class use. We will scan not only hard copy but also microformat as well. This includes microcards. Digital delivery is generated through an ILL request from your institution. When an ILL request is sent to the center, we have a material paged. It's then reviewed to see if it meets the criteria for digitalization. We check the material's fragility and content. Once it has been decided that the material is eligible for digitizing, the requesting library is informed that we will attempt to fill the request digitally. The material is then given a file name and delivery date. It is then sent for scanning and saved as a PDF file with embedded OCR. A link is also placed on our OPAC for any future use. The requesting library is then informed by email with the URL. We update the WorldCat record, keeping our holdings current. Our e-resource collection can be accessed many ways from our website. You may access our entire digital collection from our catalog by clicking on the Digital tab. Some highlighted digital collections, such as the Chinese pamphlets, can be found by going to our main page and clicking on the Electronic Resources tab and then Digital Collections. If the patron is off campus, they must have proxy through their institution to gain access to our digital collection. There are 3 categories allowing access to our digital collection. Material not under copyright falls under open access, allowing the general public viewing privileges. Material in the gray area is only accessible to our members. Material under copyright protection is only accessible by our members after agreeing to copyright restrictions. When the material is under copyright, the patron is taken to this screen. Once the server has verified the IP address as a valid member institution and the patron has agreed to the copyright agreement, the scans will appear. Let me reiterate, if the patron is off campus, they must have proxy through their institution. Now I'm going to speak with you quickly about record loading. This is a totally free service to our members. It enhances visibility of your partnership with CRL, and you will have more of your patrons requesting CRL material and providing you more use of your CRL membership. And it increases the accuracy of requests, especially for those patron-initiated requests. We have had universities like Harvard and the University of Florida who have shown vast improvement in their fill rate, as well as consortiums like OhioLink, Prospector, and Rapid. We have over 1.3 million records in our catalog, and you don't have to load our entire catalog. You may only want to load portions of our catalog, such as the newspapers or the dissertations or the digital collection. But once again, this is a free service to our members. Now, if you have a scholar who might be visiting Chicago and want to use our material on site, if you give us a call 3 business days in advance, to make certain that the material is here, because we want to verify material is here since all the material circulates to member institutions. We will set them up in our reading room. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock to 2 by appointment only, but if a patron comes, we'll do our best to accommodate them. We're able to assist you. We have an added tutorial video on borrowing materials from CRL. You may access this brief informative video on YouTube or on our website. It will provide you with information on borrowing as well as a view of the center. And if you have any problems, questions, or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me or my staff. And I'm now returning this over to Mary Wilkie.
Hi, this is Mary Wilkie, and I'm going to talk to you about our licensing, purchase programs, and our outreach services. The work CRL does with electronic licensing is the next step from our traditional investment in primary source collections and programs that have been with us since our founding in 1949. In this past fiscal year, on this screen you will see some of the recent electronic resource offers that CRL has brought to our members. 33 electronic resource offers were made with an uptake of over 230 purchases or subscriptions to the various offers by 113 unique CRL members. CRL developed a platform which we called eDesiderata in order to gather and organize information about e-resources of interest to our members, while also providing a place for members to share their perspectives on the various resources and authors. Here you see a screenshot of our dashboard, which organizes the information in various sections. We have one where you could find all the CRL reviews. In the middle column, you will find all the active order offers that we have currently. And then on the other side is the CRL pipeline, which contains resources which we are considering in the process, we might be in the process of negotiating a license, but yet we haven't gotten to the point where we have made an active offer. Savings through these offers have been anywhere from 10% to 55% off of the list price, with a mean average savings of around $8,200 for a single offer in this last fiscal year. Here you will see one screenshot of an individual resource that we're offering, the New York Times. You can see that how we've organized it. We give a brief overview. There will be a tab for the details, a tab for the CRL review, another tab that contains the detailed information, including any additional documents related to licensing or participation agreements on the CRL offers and status tab, and then a tab for the appendix. One can use this to also do a rough poll of yes or no, up and down, whether you think that this is worthwhile for CRL to pursue an offer or not. The next thing is our cooperative collection building programs. As Kevin has mentioned early, one of them is the demand purchase program. These programs were designed to aid both member libraries and scholars in connecting users to the resources they need. More information about these programs can be found on our website by clicking on Collections and then Cooperative Resource Development, and finally on the links to the various programs: Demand Purchase, Purchase Proposal, and Shared Purchase. Since Kevin covered the demand purchase, I will just lightly cover the other programs, as you can read more about them at your own convenience. The Purchase Proposal Program takes place once a year in the fall, and in fact, later today, the nominations period for suggesting a resource to be put on this ballot would be closed, but we're extending it until next week, so you may be receiving an email later today or early tomorrow regarding that. This program provides access to important collections which may be too costly or too esoteric for individual libraries to acquire. And such sets also tend not to be readily available through interlibrary loan. A how-to video tutorial walks one through the steps of nomination and voting for this purchase proposal program, and that's available on our YouTube channel, which you can find at crl.edu. The shared purchase program occurs in the spring if there are items to ballot. It operates much like a buying club, with the cost of the purchase shared by those members interested in having access to the material. Items on this ballot could be materials that were not of wide enough interest to warrant purchase through the purchase proposal program, or they could be sets for which a library may not wish to wait until the fall, when we have the purchase proposal ballot. The nominating library and CRL provide seed funding on the initial ballot, and those members who can pledge money do so. At the end, CRL buys those items that are fully funded this way. In this way, we regularly provide an additional $30,000 to $80,000 worth of materials that all members can use. As once the set is acquired, all our members can make use of the material. Examples of these programs, both electronic and physical, are seen on this screen. CRL helps connect researchers, libraries, and institutions to these important source material types. The Central American Archives was acquired through the Purchase Proposal Program. The files of the Communist Party of Japan was acquired through the Shared Purchase Program. And the British dissertation that you see here with the ethos screen was funded for the initial scanning through the Demand Purchase Program. One other aspect of my job concerns what we call the reference consultation. It can occur when I'm contacted by a librarian, a professor, or a student to help them with a question or a problem. The consultations can result in identifying material of interest to researchers for personal use, for use in the classroom, or I can help them identify which items a CRL would acquire through the Demand Purchase Program. And now that's basically it. I want to turn it over to Virginia Kerr.
Thanks, Mary. In the membership section of CRL's website, you'll find a page called Making the Most of Your Membership. Kevin and Mary have already mentioned several of the high-value programs and services which are noted there, which can help you leverage your membership, including the demand purchase requests, the shared purchase program, and loading records locally. Also in that section of our website, we present suggestions and resources for marketing CRL locally to raise awareness among faculty and students on your campus. We note model practices among members who feature CRL in their websites, newsletters, and LibGuides. We even link to a video prepared by Carleton University in Ottawa, which includes enthusiastic comments by students and researchers describing how they benefited from the unique resources available through CRL. We would love to hear about how you have referenced CRL resources on your own campus, in your own campus publications and guides. CRL has available printed brochures highlighting facets of our collection. These are quite useful for distributing to faculty and graduate students. We also offer a one-page flyer which can be customized for adding local references. And this year we unveiled CRL bookmarks, which are quite useful reminders to hand out at orientation sessions. We sent a mailing at the beginning of the school year to all member libraries offering to ship out some copies of these promotional materials, and they will continue to be available throughout the year. All the collections and services which have been described here today are described in further detail on CRL's website, which has recently been upgraded and enhanced. We'd love to hear your feedback about our website. Also, if you haven't already signed up for our electronic newsletter, Connect, issued every 2 to 3 weeks, please do so. And follow CRL on Facebook and Twitter. If you have specific questions about promoting CRL locally or about the range of benefits available to members, please contact memberservices@crl.edu. I'm now handing this back to James Simon to wrap up, and we welcome your questions as well.
Thanks, Virginia. Yes, I was going to remind everyone to submit their questions through the chat screen so that we can clarify anything that we've said during the course of the past 50 minutes or so. I just wanted to perhaps bring this back to a close by highlighting that CRL's community really does set the programs and the agenda for CRL. We're very pleased to engage with the member institutions at every level, from the library director to the collection development officers to reference, bibliographic instruction, interlibrary loan, the subject specialists, the collection strategists, as well as your faculty and patrons. I think we've tried to give you a sense of a variety of ways that you can engage with us in helping us build the shared collection. Which is, I hope that we've impressed upon you, is diverse and deep and quite unique as a partnership among libraries since 1949. Just to give you kind of a sense of where we're heading over the next year or 2 years, of course the collections remain central to CRL's mission, and that we will continue to build and grow our collections. But in particular, we're looking to strengthen the partnerships, many of which I discussed here, such as with the Linda Hall Library, LLMC, other organizations like the U.S. Agricultural Information Network to diversify and make accessible primary source materials related to the history and economics of agriculture, to news collections, to all sorts of other materials like emerging research areas like broadcast and multimedia studies. We want to strengthen those partnerships and increase the benefits of those relationships for CRL libraries. For instance, with the Linda Hall Library, we're looking to do some strategic digitization of important serials in the areas of labor, of infrastructure, mechanical engineering, and the like. So if you have an interest in possible areas where we might look to strengthen our partnerships, we welcome your comments and opinions. Second, we want to expand access for the member institutions to the primary source collections that we have, particularly the collections and data for social sciences and humanities, focusing on news, legal and government information, agriculture and science, like we've discussed here. To do that, we hope to increase the digitization of our own collections and increase the discoverability of those holdings. And also work with our member libraries to engage in strategic licensing of high-value databases. the eDesiderata platform provides an opportunity for you to suggest resources for CRL to license. So we encourage your feedback on that, as well as comments on potential and actual offers that CRL is currently offering. Third, we want to expand and enhance CRL's online resources for collection managers and for key decision makers. We didn't get a chance much to describe those, but on our site you'll see tools and resources for you in making your own collection decisions. eDesiderata is one for licensing, but we also maintain other databases like our Print Archives Preservation Registry, which is a platform that can help libraries who are considering ways to deaccession or move to remote storage particular print serial collections in their own libraries. We all know that everybody's out of space and they're looking for ways to maximize the space within the library. The Print Archives Preservation Registry can show you what titles are being preserved and maintained at trustworthy repositories for print, so that you to further inform your own decision makers. Our Icon newspaper database points to where newspapers have been digitized, where they exist in microfilm or held in print. This is a way for you to make your own collection management decisions about potentially your own digitization or preservation of those collections. Finally, ultimately, we need to maintain the collection that we've built since 1949. So improving and maintaining the environmental conditions in the CRL collections facility is an important part of our activities. In short, all of these goals are working towards ensuring the long-term integrity and accessibility of critical evidence that has been built and supported by the community of member libraries. We have just a couple minutes for some questions that we have. So there was a question about the reference consultations, and the question was basically relating to the reference consultations. Who might participate in that, and is there communication back to the member institution regarding the reference consultations handled by CRL staff? Mary?
Either I or my staff are often contacted by either a librarian, a professor, or students. If it's a librarian, I'm assuming the library is in the loop on the communication happening. But if it's a professor or a student, what we do is copy our primary contact for that institution at the library in on our answer. So the person, our primary contact at the library would know that we're helping a student or a professor in such a way.
The reference consultations inform us of research trends and interests as well. One of our programs that we like to highlight around this time of year is our Primary Source Awards, which is an opportunity for CRL to learn about exciting research projects underway at your campus, whether it's through the faculty, through the library itself that's making collections accessible, or being used in the classroom for teaching purposes. There's information on our site about the Primary Source Awards. Not only does this provide recognition for your faculty, your librarians, or your scholars, it also provides insight into ways primary source collections are being used. We use that to help inform our own collection strategies as well. So we do encourage you to think about interesting projects on your campus and encourage you to nominate yourself or somebody else at your institution for a potential primary source award. There are also prizes, so go take a look at that. We had a question relating to the demand purchase requests. One of one of you was seeking a little bit of clarification to say, did I get this right? Is it $2,000 per patron that CRL will pay instead of the patron paying out of pocket? Kevin, do you want to elaborate?
That's correct. CRL will pay for the foreign doctoral dissertation and then send it to the patron for the patron to use. In some cases even, we have been able to get a copy and send it to the patron so the patron may keep. So no, it will not be coming out of your budget, nor will it be coming out of the patron's pocket. strictly from CRL's budget for CRL member institutions.
We had one question taken out of context, I had trouble interpreting. Michael, you asked a question about an example of a request that we could show online. Could you clarify what kind of request you were looking for? If you get a chance. While I wait for his response, maybe we can highlight the upcoming webinars that we have coming up, Virginia?
Sure. Let's go to this slide about the upcoming events. And we had a question about getting a copy of today's presentation. We make the slides available on the event website, and then the presentation is being recorded, and that recording will be on our YouTube channel. And we do send a reminder when the recording's available to all the registrants for the webinar. So definitely we do want to make this available to you for further reference. Upcoming events, in 2 weeks, we have a webinar on South Asian resources. This is part of a series that we offer periodically on some of the various area studies regions that we specialize in, and it will review special materials in the CRL collection and examine some of the current challenges of collecting in this area and some of the research interest. We do have a subject specialist speaking in addition to CRL staff at that webinar, and registration is available for that now. We have upcoming in November, registration will be available soon, not available yet, a webinar on discovering CRL's resources, which will go into a little more depth than what Kevin and Mary and James have discussed today. We've had a lot of requests for this. We do understand that in addition to looking into the option of loading records locally, there are many challenges to local implementations of discovery service platforms and how you can get the most direct access to pointing to CRL resources within the context of those platforms. One more event. I appreciate James mentioning the Primary Source Awards. Nominations are available for those now, and we will send some reminders about that, but the nomination form is on our website. And then finally, did we have any more questions, James, that you wanted to address?
Well, we just had a clarification from Michael, who had asked about seeing an example of an article request. Because the article request is primarily done through the interlibrary loan platforms, we can provide you more specific examples. Michael, Kevin Wilkes will contact you very specifically. There are several ways to do it, but it's all basically integrated through whether it's patron initiated or your own interlibrary article requests. It goes through the system, and whether it's coming from CRL or from the Linda Hall Library, it's all pretty much transparent to your own institution. So Kevin will follow up with you. And speaking of, we're happy to receive further comments and questions from anybody, to any one of our presenters. We've put our names and emails up here for your reference. It's usually first initial, last name at crl.edu. And we're happy to follow up with more information at your request.
Okay, that just about wraps it up for today, but we do want to remind you that your feedback is essential to our program planning. So please do take a moment to fill out the brief survey, which appears when you log out. As I mentioned, this webinar is being recorded and will be available soon on CRL's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your participation today, and we look forward to having you at future webinars.